Hi pals, I'm Casey, and today I just really want to make some predictions that are probably going to turn out wrong. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Casey. This is I Don't Know What I'm Doing. I do all the things that all your other favorite booktubers do, except probably a little shittier and with a lot less knowledge of what I'm doing. And today I really just want to make some 5-star predictions. I find this to be really fun because most of the time I'm exceedingly wrong, but sometimes I'm really right. And so let's, kind of figure out together if I'm going to be right or wrong, and maybe I'll look back on this video and see just how wrong I was. So fun fact, I actually wrote down this list that I'm about to share with you, I think a week ago, maybe a little bit more, and and 2 of these books I've actually had come in from my library, one of which I finished, one of which I'm only about 10% of the way through. So one of them is no longer on this list. Spoiler alert, it's The Mercy of Gods by James S.A. Corey. But the other one, I have not read enough of it to know how I feel about it, so I've kept it on this list. Okay, my first 5-star prediction is Little Rot by Akwaeke Emezi. This I think is probably the safest book I have on this list as far as 5-star predictions are concerned, because I've absolutely adored everything I've ever read from this author. This is I think, genre-defying piece of fiction that is about 2 people who have recently split after a long-term relationship, and then they go to, like, a sex party or orgy or something, and then like the world possibly is starting to end. I don't really remember what it's about other than like that very vague description, but I love everything Emezi writes. I'm very excited to read this one, and fingers crossed I'm gonna love it as much as I think I will. The next 5-star prediction I have is Hera by Jennifer Saint. This is another Greek retelling. This is following Hera. I have enjoyed all of Jennifer Saint's works that I've read before. They are all way up there. Hold on. Way up there. You can see my wyverns sitting on them. And I fully expect to enjoy this one as well. I don't really know too much about what particular part of Hera's story this is supposed to be following, but I love Jennifer Saint's writing, and I'm excited to see her tackle a much more complicated figure in Greek mythology. The next 5-star prediction I have is probably the most likely to not be a 5-star in my opinion, and that is Tidal Creatures by Sean M. McGuire. This is the 3rd book in the Alchemical Concoctions, Alchemical Elements something series. This is the Middle Game series, and while I loved Middle Game, it was one of my favorite books the year I read it. I did not love Seasonal Fears nearly as much, and I thought it was a much weaker book. So I don't really have a lot of high hopes for this. I really want it to be 5 stars, and that's why I included it here. But if I had to guess, if I had to pick one book out of this list that was not going to, if I had to pick one book out of this list that I am almost positive will in fact not be 5 stars, I would pick this one, just because I don't know how the series is going to continue, and I don't know. Those are I think it's going to be 5 stars, but I also don't think it's going to be 5 stars. I'm very split on it. Okay, the next 5-star prediction I have is The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve-Dew. This one is a little bit of cheating. I did get the audiobook for this earlier this year, and I made it through about, I think, 5% of it, and I was really having a good time with it. I honestly felt like the first 5% was so good. I just was not in the mood for it, and so I sent it back to the library and basically pushed myself way back into the queue. So I feel like I'm cheating because I did read enough of this to feel like it is almost certainly gonna be 5 stars, but I'm still including it because I couldn't think of anything else. I have 10 books here. I struggled with 10, especially having to eliminate one off the list because I read it before I filmed this. This is a horror novel. This is following a young boy. Oh my god, there was a receipt in there. This is following a young boy named Robbie who gets into an altercation with a young white boy in his town, and as a consequence of that, whatever, I can't think of words right now, he is sent to a reformatory, and there he begins seeing, and there he sees ghosts, and he begins, just a lifelong journey with the horrors of the Jim Crow South and reformatories that these kids were sent to. And I believe this is based off of someone from the author's family who went through this, and so I'm very excited to read this one. I absolutely love Tanana Reeve-Dew's work, and I can't wait to get to this. The next one I have is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I believe this is a post-apocalyptic fiction, science fiction, that was surprisingly prescient in all the things that ended up coming true that were included in this book, even though it was written a long time before, like, the 2016 election in the United States and stuff. I love Butler's work. I'm excited to get to this one. I have heard nothing but incredible things about the 2 books in the series, and I really want to get around to them. The next 5-star prediction I have is Pure Nessie by Susanna Clark. This is a 5-star prediction for no other reason than a lot of other people gave this 5 stars, and I don't think I'm going to be different. I don't really know what this is about. I believe Pure Nessie is not only our titular character, but the main character of this narrative, and something with doors, something about memory, something about, like, other worlds. I don't really know, but I'm excited to get around to it, and I think I'm gonna love it, just because everyone else did. The next 5-star prediction I have is A Master of Jinn by P. Shelley Clark. This is, I don't really know. I go into books blind a lot of times. I did read The Haunting of Tramcar 015 by this author very recently and very much enjoyed it, and I think that is setting up the story that is in this book, but I could be totally wrong on that. I mostly just want to read more in this series because I think it's extremely interesting. I love the alternative universe Cairo, where the citizens of Cairo and the political powers in Cairo have aligned themselves with Jinn and thus have created themselves as a superpower, and that magic exists in this world. I really enjoyed it. I want to continue more, and I really think that continuing in the series I will have a good time because I really wanted the novella to be longer. It was my biggest complaint. It was the only reason I didn't give it a higher rating. I wanted more out of it. I wanted more exploration. I wanted more characters, and I think that reading a full-length novel in this world will absolutely hit on those points. The next prediction I have is Sourland by River Solomon. I really enjoyed the deep from this author. I thought that it was honestly just such a beautiful, incredible book, and I really want to reread it sometime. But this is a horror novel. I can't remember what this is about. This is another one that I started the audiobook for and got about between 5 and 10% of the way through and returned it to the library just because I was not in the mood for it at the time. And so I'm very excited to pick this back up, restart it, and fully sit with this just because I love this author's writing. I think they are absolutely beautiful story crafters, and I just want to read more from them. The last 2 books that I have as 5-star predictions, I honestly threw on here because I couldn't fill it out to 10, especially with having to take a book off this list. And so these I'm a lot more hesitant about, but we're gonna power through and talk about them anyways. The first one is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This has been around for a while now. I don't know when this was originally published, but this is I believe just like a literary fiction following people, like a couple, as they throughout their lives, as they come together, as they separate, blah, 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 blah. I don't know why I think I'm going to love this, but I am very convinced that I'm going to love this and I'm going to be obnoxious about it. So we'll see if that pans out. And the last prediction I have is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. Do I really think I'm going to give this 5 stars? I honestly think I'm going to give this 5 stars or I'm going to fucking hate it. I think it's one or the other. With Tidal Creatures, I felt like it might hit very middle of the road, but with this one, I don't really know too much about it, but it has one of my favorite covers. It's absolutely incredible. It sounds creepy and weird, and some of the book people that I watch absolutely enjoyed it, and I trust their taste, so I'm excited to get around to it, and I really want it to be 5 stars because it sounds gross and weird, and those are 2 of my favorite things in books. Okay, that's it. Those are my 10 5-star predictions. Maybe I'll revisit this video some other time to see if they in fact were, but yeah, I think that's it. That's the video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I will see you next Friday. Please feel free to do algorithm things like comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.